Good morning. This is Mark Carter Pierce, your U.S. Senate candidate for 2026 from the great state of Pennsylvania, and you're watching the bonus reel. You know, one of the things that we hold dear in this country, and on one of my other broadcasts, I talk about the Constitution in great detail, great length. It's called History of Politics if you want to see it. Just check our playlist. You'll see a bunch of them. But I want to talk about the First Amendment for a brief minute here because it's first of all, it's the First Amendment of the Constitution. It's the First Amendment in the Bill of Rights. And it guarantees us the right to free speech. Now, yes, there was the Schenck v. United States Supreme Court case in 1919, I believe it was, which established the clear and present danger test. Okay, and what that was about was saying that you can't, while you have freedom of speech, you can't say things that are clear and present dangers to the country or people around you. For example, you can't go into a movie theater and yell fire when there is no fire. And the legal protection of it is, if there's an actual fire, yes, you can do that. Okay? And if somebody gets hurt or trampled while they're trying to flee the fire, you cannot be held liable because you issued a warning. But on the other side of the coin, if there is no fire and you start screaming fire and people flee out of the building, and in that process, somebody gets trampled or killed, and they find out that you're the one that raised that alarm falsely, you can civilly be held liable and possibly criminally be held liable for that act. This is the lesson of Charlie Kirk. Because while most of us, like myself, believe that you can't just go around killing people because you disagree with them, the only time that you should consider taking a life, and this is according to the Second Amendment that gives us the right to keep and bear arms, is to protect ourselves, our families, and our property. If we or our families or our properties are being threatened with imminent harm, then we have the right to defend ourselves. Stands up in any court. Defense. Not disagreement with views. I've said this got to be 2,000 times now over the last week or so. But here's the point. When you have a large platform, not everybody is going to think the way that I do. Not everybody is going to think the way that you do. And somebody may get triggered, especially if you're saying hostile and vitriolic things, and especially when most of it is utter garbage, when it's lies. And yes, Charlie Kirk saying that Martin Luther King is a bad guy is a lie. When Charlie Kirk says that Michelle Obama, who she wasn't appointed to any government office, she was the wife of a president. Or Ketanji Brown Jackson. Well, look, Charlie Kirk did not graduate from college. He dropped out. Michelle Obama holds 2 Juris Doctors. Kamala Harris holds a Juris Doctor. Ketanji Brown Jackson holds a Juris Doctor. These are postgraduate degrees. And he didn't even get that far. And to say they're DEI hires, they weren't hired because of their color. They were hired because of their acumen. Except for Michelle Obama, because she became the first lady because she was married to the man that was elected twice as president, who himself holds a Juris Doctor and is a former editor of the Harvard Law Review. But look at what you got right now. You got a first lady, so-called, okay, who came into this country on a visa, a student visa, and wasn't supposed to work. And as soon as she got here, right away went to work as a model. Then somehow, mysteriously and magically, because she lied and said that she graduated college, she got what's known as an Einstein visa. What the hell did she get an Einstein visa for? I have a few ideas, but I'm not going to say them here. And then look at her husband. Yes, he graduated from Wharton Business School. I know people that have done that. But with a 1.28 GPA, because he was so cheap, he wouldn't pay people to do his work what they should have been paid. So he got substandard work, and that's why he got a 1.28. He got the credits to graduate, but even his teachers in high school and in grade school said he was a dummy. You can't say he's a business genius with 6 bankruptcies. 6 business bankruptcies, not personal ones, business bankruptcies. What he is a slickster. He's a huckster, he's a snake oil pitchman, and a con man. The point of that analogy right there is to show that what Charlie Kirk pushed was a bunch of lies that made him a damn multimillionaire. Because some people just want to hear what they want to hear. They don't want to hear the truth. They want to hear what they were taught, like racism. But now let's take it to a different side of the equation. Let's talk about Jimmy Kimmel, who came back last night. I watched his monologue. It was an extended one, and I thought it was brilliant from the very beginning. And I believe that Jimmy Kimmel expressed himself as properly and succinctly as he should have. And yes, he took some jabs at Donald Trump, and he took a couple of soft jabs at Disney. But he said something that is a basic truth here. And that truth is that you cannot have the leader of the country trying to zone people out. They were the first ones to complain about cancel culture. And then they turn around, which is the norm, by the way, with the MAGA crew. They turn around and do exactly that. They they canceled Jimmy Kimmel, but he came back. For somebody who doesn't have the ratings, I bet she's got them now. For someone who has the ratings, and it cost Disney $4 billion in losses, I bet she's got them now. What was done shouldn't have been done. What they did to Stephen Colbert shouldn't have been done. But see, what you don't realize, this is the Mussolini playbook, the Benito Mussolini playbook. It was perpetrated by Adolf Hitler as well, and any other authoritarian regime. Step 1, vilify the media, vilify the press, silence them, because the press is the check against your words. When you lie, they call you out for it. They report on you. They don't, listen, how in the hell CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, Newsweek, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, they're all lying, but Donald Trump is telling the truth? A man who told people to inject bleach to fight COVID. Don't get the vaccine. Don't get the vaccine. Take a horse dewormer for a virus. A horse dewormer to fight a virus. Do you know how many people went to the hospital for that? Or injecting bleach? Or at the very beginning, he was hawking hydroxychloroquine like it was crack. The first 2 victims were in Arizona. It was a husband and wife. The husband died. The wife was in critical condition. I think she survived. Hydroxychloroquine is pool cleaner. It's not to be ingested. How bad is it when your so-called leader tells you to ingest things that the company has to go and put labels on their product and put statements out saying this is not intended for human consumption? Do I blame the people that took it? No, I blame the guy that told them to do it. And that is what's called creating clear and present danger. That's what it is. Because you're telling people to take something that will kill them. You're putting them in harm's way. It's clear, it's present, and it's a danger. There's no way you can miss that. And yeah, I do believe that Donald Trump's got to find another huge distraction now to keep, because we're going to keep after him after the Epstein files. You can write that down, mail it to him, let him know. We're still coming for the Epstein files, no matter what he does. As long as he sits in that chair, we're coming for the Epstein files. We have a right to know. I would surely want to know if my politicians are pedophiles. You can check me out, because I can tell you now, I'm not a pedophile. I'm not on no Epstein list. I'm on nobody's list. It's time for the nonsense to stop. That man is clearly 25th Amendment material all the way. The things he said to the United Nations, if we weren't a founding member of the United Nations, we're one of the 5 founding members of the United Nations. If we weren't that, they would have voted us out yesterday. He insulted everybody in the room. Wrongly. He insulted them. And shouldn't have done it. Because he lied. He lied. I ended 7 wars. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Ukraine is still going on. Gaza is still going on. You want to claim that you ended Afghanistan and India. It's still going on. They're still fighting. And you know what you did it for? Because you asked them to endorse you for a Nobel Peace Prize. And India said no. India told people you had nothing to do with it. And his contributions have been minimal. So no, it's not like he's the great. Listen, he's got everybody stoned off on this deal maker idea. He's not a great deal maker. If he was such a great deal maker, he never would have went into bankruptcy 6 times. But he did. And that wasn't business smarts. That was being a wise ass. And it's dangerous. General Mark Milley is absolutely correct when he says Donald Trump is a clear and present danger to this country. He chose those words correctly. Donald Trump is a clear and present danger to the United States of America. Since he has been here in 9 months or 8 months, whatever, since he has come into that office that we believe he shouldn't even be occupying. We believe, and there's empirical data to prove this too, empirical data, that he and Elon cooked the books on those machines. And no, that's not conspiracy theory crap. That's a fact. And if you don't believe me, go to electiontruthalliance.com and check the figures out for yourself. electiontruthalliance.com. Check the figures out. My friend Nate Parker over there, check him out. But In the time he's been in office, we went from having an economy that was the envy of the world to a goddamn nightmare. The stock market has crashed several times since he's been back. Farmers are complaining because of these damn tariffs. Consumer spending is going down because there's no confidence. Nobody, and regardless, let's set the record straight on this right fucking now. A tariff is a tax. Now, if you are buying an item from Japan, like a car, let's say a Toyota, that costs $30,000. Toyota is a business. They don't just cut a check every month to the federal government. What they do is they build the price of the tariff into the car. So when you buy that $30,000 car, you can tack on another $7,000 to cover the 30% tariff that Donald Trump put on it. So you're going to pay $7,000 plus, if you're financing it, the adjacent interest, which could be another $3,000. So your $30,000 car went up to $40,000 because of the tariff. No, Japan doesn't pay the tariff. You pay Japan first. You pay the tariff to Japan. Then they pay. It's not like they're paying out of their pocket as soon as the stuff comes in. No, they build the tariff into the price of the car now. So when you buy the car, you're paying the tariff. That's it, and that's all. Even down to the little things. Most of Walmart's store brand line comes from China. China. You say the price went up? You know why it did? Tariff. Trump tariff. Which I want to add that 3 courts have already said it's illegal, and he's still fighting it because he illegally invoked a law from the 1700s again to get emergency power to drop these tariffs. He doesn't have the ability to do it himself. Congress can place tariffs, not the presidents. That's the Constitution. That's the law. Ultimately, we got to come down to this. What I just said to you was a product of free speech, whether you like it or don't like it. I have the right to say it. Thomas Wolfe once said, I may not agree with what you had to say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. Some of you right now may want to even kill me. Some of you are going to put stupid things in the comments. Blame it on the Mexicans. Or some garbage like that. Okay, good. Well, you know what? Then I have a choice because I have the freedom to delete your comment. You have the freedom not to listen to my video. But you can't kill me for it, and I'm not going to kill you for it. That's called free speech. But when the government goes to stifle free speech, that is an issue. That is a problem of a major magnitude. When the government wants to silence comedians because they're thin-skinned and they can't take a joke, they don't like what they hear. You know what? I'll tell you what you do. You don't like what a comedian says about you? Then stop doing things to give that comedian the meat. Trump is the gift that keeps on giving. Every day it's something new and evil with him. You know, he's old, he's senile, he's sick, he's more than likely, well, everybody starts dying the minute they're born, but he's right at death's door. At 79 years old with a diet like a 10-year-old, bad cholesterol is probably off the charts. He doesn't exercise. Golfing is not exercise, friends. Not unless you're going to walk the 18 holes. and he had the nerve to tell the UN, who obviously there were no, there, I don't believe that there are any blind members of the United Nations, uh, that he was in shape to walk up that escalator. If that's the case, why are you bitching about it? Oh, and the teleprompter? It was White House staff that were operating the teleprompter. So blame your own, Donald. Again, stop blaming the press for everything. That's an old trick because the press is your dissenter. The press is the one that calls you out for your bullshit and shines the light for the people. And when you try to block it, it makes it look really bad. You're already caught up in a couple of cover-ups. The Epstein files, the home and payoff debacle. Let's start with just those two. And your little petty retribution against your perceived political enemies. You know what? They didn't take you to court because they don't like you, Donald. They took you to court because you broke the fucking law. Nobody told you that when you left the Oval Office to take classified documents to your fucking house. You have no right to do it. Top secret documents, but you've got them stacked up in a bathroom. Or you're showing it to your millionaire friends. You asshole. Nobody told you to rip off the insurance companies, Donald. Falsifying bank statements and shit. Nobody told you to do that. You did it, and it's against the law. Nobody told you to call Georgia, the Secretary of State of Georgia, because you lost and tell him, look, I need you to find 11,798 votes. Nobody told you to do that. You did that, Donald, and it was against the fucking law. And to be frank about it, what you did recently in Texas, that's election tampering, Donald. Nobody's lying on you. You're doing it to yourself. Because you can't take a joke. You can't take the heat. You can't take the loss. Roy Cohn really messed your fucking head up. Stop trying to silence the press, Donald. First Amendment. First Amendment of the Constitution, First Amendment of the Bill of Rights. And nowhere in that document does it say that you have the right or the power to silence the media. I'm Mark Carter Pierce, U.S. Senate candidate for 2028 from the state of Pennsylvania. And you've been watching the bonus reel. Thank you, and we'll see you next week. Like, comment, and share.